In this episode of Locked On Capitals, the Washington Capitals defeat the Florida Panthers by a score of 6-1 to take the series lead at 2-1. Let's talk about that next on this edition of Locked On Capitals. Let's go.
Locked On Capitals, your daily podcast on the Washington Capitals. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Well, hello and welcome into this edition of Locked On Capitals. I'm so glad you decided to join me today. As always, this podcast is free and available on all platforms, and I want to thank you for making this your first listen or view of the day. Yes, this is also a video podcast on YouTube, and you can take a look around. I am working on my Locked On Capitals studio. There's still some work I want to do on it, but this is even more incentive for you to check it out on YouTube as well. My name is Dan Holme. You can find me on Twitter. It's at DanCaps218. You can find the show on Twitter. It's at Locked On Caps. And wow, what a decisive win for the Washington Capitals. You know, like I said in the previous podcast, all will be forgotten if the Washington Capitals can find a way to win a big game. And they did. They won 6-1. The Capitals take the lead in this series 2-1. And that is a big thing for the Washington Capitals because whoever wins game 3 usually wins this series 68% of the time. Those are some really solid numbers and some really good news for the Washington Capitals because they won game 3 and it was a decisive win. It wasn't one of those games where, they won 2-1 or 3-2, something like that. A decisive statement win by the Washington Capitals. And what was the secret sauce tonight? It was a physical game, a physical game, a physical game. Alex Ovechkin brought it big time, and they kind of stuck to the script there. They didn't get drawn into some stupid fights. It was actually the Florida Panthers that lost their composure. If you think about that late game penalty by Huberdeau, that was what kind of was the wheel was really starting to wobble for the Florida Panthers. I know the game was out of hand at that point, but that's what I'm talking about is just guys on the team. In this case, it was Florida just losing themselves in the game. So we're going to talk about the game tonight. We're also going to talk about the great play of Ilya Samsonov. Wow, what a game for Ilya Samsonov. There was many people that thought it could have been Vanacek back in the net. We'll talk about that later in the show. And then we are going to talk about the game that's going to be played Monday night. But wow, what a game. I just can't get over this. This is a bonus episode. This is on Saturday. We typically only do them Monday through Friday. So I'm kind of doing this pro bono off the books because I love this team and I love the decisive win by the Washington Capitals tonight. I mean, decisive is one and only way to really state it. Coach Laviolette said Ovechkin's physicality early on the game set the tone. Kind of like what I talked about there. His big physical presence was noticeable. I think that Alex Ovechkin is looking around. He's like, well, we don't got Tom Wilson out there and no one else is answering the bell and kind of answering to this Florida Panthers team. I'm going to do it. And he did it. He was kind of a bull in a china shop out there, and that is exactly what the doctor ordered, smashing as many people as you possibly can. I mean, don't get me wrong, Garnet Hathaway was out there doing his thing, and there was even there was that big hit that's uncharacteristic by John Carlson out there. So everyone was buying into the physical game, and it played off. And it played, just really into the hands of the Capitals, and they ended up getting, like I say, a big win because they all were team tough. Coach Laviolette said, this game, if we don't follow it up, then that's on us. And, it was the momentum was in the Capitals' favor, I got to say, pretty much the entire game. So there's no real reason that the Capitals should have lost this game. Ilya Samsonov was a pleasant surprise, I've got to say. I know that the commentator on ESPN was saying, well, why are they going to Ilya Samsonov? They should have gone to Vitek Vanacek. And, they have been inconsistent. And to be honest with you, it's usually a coin flip who's going to end up starting anyway. But in this case, Ilya Samsonov played great. All credit to Ilya Samsonov. Hats off to Ilya Samsonov. If you're going to say something negative about someone, you got to be one of the first to say something positive. And Samsonov, you did an excellent job out there tonight. Samsonov said he almost cried when fans chanted his name on the big cross crease save on Barkov. He said, "The play went boom, boom, save. Ha ha," he said. So I'm just really proud of Ilya Samsonov. He has faced so much adversity this season, and I know that there's been disparaging things said to him about, for me, honestly, and everyone. But, just great on him for having a really great afternoon. I hope that gives him the confidence in that boost to play in the next game, because you got to know that he's going to be starting on Monday. If they went with Vitek Vanacek, I would really have to wonder what they were thinking. So, what I've talked about in this entire series is the Washington Capitals have a pedigree of winning. The Florida Panthers, how, despite the fact that they won the President's Trophy this year, they are an unproven commodity. They haven't won a playoff series since 1996. 1996. All right, everyone think about how old you were in 1996. Okay, I was a year out of high school, 19 years old. That's a long time. So it's been some time since they have actually won a playoff series. It's the longest drought in NHL history. So, I think that there is a lot of positives to take from just the statistics of this game, being the fact the Washington Capitals won game 3, and game 3 winner usually wins the series 68% of the time. So that is very encouraging news. There is also some possible encouraging news. The Capitals have reassigned forward Brett Leason to the Hershey Bears. Could that indicate that Tom Wilson is coming back? It seems like that is definitely a possibility, probable, I would say. Not necessarily. It could be something where they're just going to drop him down and have him come back up, or have someone else come back up. But I'm going to try to stick with the positive and think that maybe that means that Tom Wilson will come back. The rumor mill has it out there is that he has a knee injury, and usually those aren't something that you can recover from quickly, but I'm not a doctor, and that's just been kind of the gossip rumor mill on Twitter, so I guess we will see. And then just another big play and kind of an unsung hero that kind of, just because he's not a flashy guy out there, but Anthony Mantha recorded 2 assists in game 3, making his first career multi-point game in the playoffs. And big up on Anthony Mantha. That trade with the Red Wings for Jakub Vrana has really paid off. At the time, people were pretty upset because, I think that a lot of people held Verona close to their hearts because he helped them win the Stanley Cup, and he was just real personable and friendly and funny and all of those things. But, ultimately, he is doing a great job for the Red Wings, and Anthony Mantha is doing a great job for the Capitals. So just a win-win for both teams. Ilya Samsonov stopped 29 of 30 shots faced in game 3, earning his first career win. Samsonov is the 17th goaltender in franchise history to earn a postseason victory. And wow, just a really amazing stats for Ilya Samsonov. Like I said, just really happy for him because things started so rough for him this season that I hope this gives him the needed confidence that's going to help propel this Capitals team, because it was my keys to success in the beginning of the series is that they needed, they played well on the road. They happened to play well at home tonight, so that's good. They needed Ovechkin to come back. Ovechkin came back, and they needed to engage in a physical game. They did that, and my last key to success was to find a goaltender that could catch fire, and they got that tonight. I would say that Ilya Samsonov caught fire tonight. You can't really dispute that. He saved 29 of 30 shots. You cannot ask for anything more from Ilya Samsonov. And I know that the Capitals fans and most fans in general are fickle when it comes to netminders because, if he has one off game, they're going to be turning on him quicker than anything. Take a look at Vitek Vanacek. Everyone was singing his praises until he had that last off game, and then everyone was doubting him. And I know it's easy to do. I fall into that pit oftentimes myself. But let's just concentrate on the positive on this podcast. And the positive is in this episode, in this game, is that Ilya Samsonov played amazing. Hats off to Ilya Samsonov. Great job. Since his playoff debut in 2008, only 4 players have more postseason performance with 2+ assists than Backstrom. Sidney Crosby, 30 goals. Evgeny Kuznetsov, 23. Nikita Kucherov and Jonathan Toews, 18. So just big news, and just, like a milestone season that I've talked about for the Washington Capitals is you see them all peel off one after the other. Most notably, it's things that Alex Ovechkin has done, but also Nick Backstrom. But it's just truly been a milestone season for this Capitals team and a true icing on the cake would be for them to win the Stanley Cup. And I think it is possible. I know that there's great odds against them, and it wasn't probable. But you want to know something? This season, is turning out to be not what anyone thought. And I think that there is a shot. So after the break here, I am going to break down the game, all the action, the highlights and lowlights. But first, summer is coming, and with summer, you're going to need some food on the go. Built Bars are the perfect snack to take with you on family vacations. Throw them in your bags and your kids' backpacks. Make sure that everyone has a bar so you're fueled for summer adventures. The best part about Built Bars, they're healthy and delicious. No more sacrificing delicious food for health. With Built Bars, you can have both, and it's easy. All you have to do is go to Built.com and order now. All Built Bars and puffs are covered in 100% chocolate. That means that with Built Bar, you can eat healthy and actually enjoy doing it. Have you tried the Built Puffs yet? We are going crazy for the puffs. They come in crazy flavors like banana cream pie and even churro. Who doesn't want a protein bar that tastes like churro and there only has 140 calories? Sign me up. If that's not enough flavor for you, then you might want to try the mixed box. The mixed box comes with 12 flavors of bars and the puffs. Built Bars make sure that there is something for everyone. Know what my favorite bar is? It's the churro. It is. It tastes delicious. Most Built Bars contain 130 calories, 4 grams of sugar, 4 net carbs, and 17 grams of protein. Compare that to a candy bar, which usually has around 240 calories, 30 grams of sugar, and dozens of net carbs. So go to Built.com to get all the favorites: banana cream pie, raspberry, double chocolate, and so many more. They are so delicious, and new flavors are coming out all the time. Check them out at Built.com. So go to Built.com, use promo code LOCKED15 and get 15% off your order. Use promo code LOCKED15 for 15% off at Built.com. Thank you for making Locked On Capitals your first listen. For your next listen, check out Locked On Now podcasts, nightly recaps of every NHL game with analysis from our local experts. It's free and available wherever you get your podcasts. So let's break down this game. It was one heck of a game. It was one of the games I didn't get a chance to see live because I was working earlier today, but I watched it on replay. It's one of those frustrating situations. I don't know if any of you have that, where you're hoping that no one tells you the score of the game. I had Twitter turned off. I had it all turned off. I hate when someone comes up to me and goes, "Your team won" or "Your team lost." And I'm like, well, great. I guess I don't need to watch the game now because you just told me. In any case, no one told me the score, so I was in a good mood coming home. I could sit down and not know what happened. And I was pleasantly surprised. So the game, it was Samsonov versus Bobrovsky. Like I said, the Game 3 winner normally wins at 68% of the time. Tom Wilson out again, as we talked about earlier. Hopefully, Brett Leeson going back down to Hershey indicates that Tom Wilson will be making his return. I know that Hershey is also playing in the Calder Cup playoffs, so I don't know if he's just getting dropped down because they need him in the lineup down there. I guess we will see in the coming days. TJ Oshie is on the top line with Kuzi and Ovi. And, that top line has seen a lot of change. But, looking at the results of the game tonight, I think they might go with TJ Oshie on the top line again. I got to be honest with you. I know that it's gone back and forth between Sheary and Wilson and all kinds of different players. McMichael even had a short time on the top line. So Ovechkin, big hit on Huberdeau, and that is what set the tone for this game. Ovechkin making a statement: no more. You're not going to push this team around, and I'm going to be the one. I'm the captain of this Washington Capitals team, and I'm going to tell you no more. Then Huberdeau gets a goal from the left circle. It was a soft goal, high blocker side on Ilya Samsonov, but that was the only goal that Ilya Samsonov allowed this afternoon. John Carlson hit on Marchment. And that was one of the big things out there, too, is that John Carlson is, typically not a physical player, but he laid into him. And, that's good on him because, it's, the Florida Panthers bring such a big physical game that they need everyone to step up their physicality. And they did that today. Also, saw great contributions from Garnet Hathaway and even TJ Oshie. TJ Oshie is someone that always plays much bigger than he is. Huberdeau goal from the left circle, like I said. Then Backstrom just misses an open net. It was the left front of the net, and he shot. It was open briefly, and Bobrovsky, he went from all across the net and was able to make the stop. and it wasn't meant to be, but it was so close. Nick Backstrom almost got that goal there. That was, I was one of the things where I'm screaming at the TV. I'm like, no, it was so close. And then Oshie goal off of Ovi's shot with the equalizer, 1-1. TJ Oshie ties the game with his second goal of the series and his 30th career playoff goal. 15 of Oshie's 30 career playoff goals have come on the power play. And TJ Oshie, I mean, you can't say enough good things about that guy. Like I say, he always plays bigger than he is. And, he's just got a really high hockey IQ. So to start the second, Samsonov playing big in the second like he did the entire game. Hathaway, big hit on Gudis. And that was a long time coming for Gudis, who's just a really piece of work. Let's just call him that. And so that was good to see Hathaway just kind of lay him out. He almost pushed him into the bench, but he didn't quite do it. But it's still a substantial hit on him. And then Samsonov robs Barkov, big save. And, all of those things going along in this game for Samsonov were just boosting his confidence more and more and more. So by the time we get to the game on Monday, you got to think that he's just going to be in top form and so confident. Johansson gets a goal on Mantha's rebound at 2-1. Caps, he roofs it. Marcus Johansson gives the Caps a 2-1 lead with his first goal of the playoffs. Johansson's last playoff goal as a Cap came on April 23rd, 2017. My, how time flies, against the Toronto Maple Leafs, which was game 6 overtime winner. Anthony Mantha, Nick Backstrom picked up assists on Johansson's goal. Backstrom has now recorded a point in each game this series, 1 goal, 2 assists. So that's what I was talking about earlier. It's just these big stats for this Washington Capitals team, and that Marcus Johansson goal or pickup at the trade deadline was one of the ones that was a bit lackluster, I got to be honest with you, because they picked up him and Johan Larsson, and everyone was thinking they were going to get Max Domi, which it turns out they dodged a bullet by not getting Max Domi. Marcus Johansson had that familiarity with the team, and it was kind of one of the things that when he came back, I kind of forgot. He's actually a pretty fast skater. I'll say he's not as fast as he once was, let's say in 2017, but, he is another guy that steps up in some really big moments. Now, Marcus Johansson has bounced around to many different teams since he's left the Washington Capitals, but I am so glad he found his way back to the Capitals. So through 10 minutes of the second period's 17 shots, 16 saves for Sammy. And just a really, again, I can't say enough great things about Ilya Samsonov tonight. Then Johansson to Van Riemsdyk goal, high blocker side, 3-1 Caps. And this is when I'm thinking to myself, yes, this is gelling. The confidence is going out there. The swagger is going. Trevor Van Riemsdyk gives the Capitals a 3-1 lead with his second career playoff goal and first as a Capital. Marcus Johansson and Nick Backstrom both picked up assists on Van Riemsdyk's goal, giving them both multi-point games. Johansson 1 goal, 1 assist, and Nick Backstrom 2 assists. So just some really great play from these veteran players, most notably the 2 Swedes, Johansson and Backstrom. So just so great. And then in the third, we'll get to the third here. Things were going so well. It was hard to find any faults in this game, and I challenge you to find any faults in the game. It was so good. You had it from net minding to physical, so perfect. So to start the third, Shiri to Ovi power play goal from the left circle, his office. Alex Ovechkin scores his first goal of the 2022 Stanley Cup playoffs to extend the Capitals' lead to 4-1. It marks Ovechkin's 72nd career playoff goal, moving him past Brian Trottier for the 16th most playoff goals in NHL history. He is the greatest power play scorer of all time. Ovechkin's 28 career playoff power play goals are tied for the 7th most in NHL history and tied with Pittsburgh's Evgeny Malkin for the most among active players. And that was one of those moments, just those statement moments that the captain of the Washington Capitals slammed home his trademark shot from the left circle, his office. And just a really great moment for the Washington Capitals. Just everyone was up in there, out of the seats and screaming. And if you were at home, you probably were at as well. It was a replay for me, and I was screaming, and I was like, yes, such a great moral victory for Alex Ovechkin and the Washington Capitals. It's 4-1 Caps at that point. John Carlson, empty netter, complete length of the ice, 5-1 Caps. John Carlson scores an empty net goal to extend the Capitals' lead to 5-1. It marks John Carlson's second point, 1 goal, 1 assist of the game, and he is now 2 points shy of passing Dale Hunter, who has 72, for the third most playoff points in franchise history. So another one, just milestone after milestone after milestone for this Washington Capitals. Yes, this Washington Capitals team, this aging roster that everyone's talking about, how can they compete with the fast skaters of the league? They're somehow managing, aren't they? Hathaway goal off Larson's rebound. Garnet Hathaway scores his first goal of the series and his first career playoff goal to make the score 6-1. Johan Larsson recorded the primary assist on Hathaway's goals, marking his first playoff point. 6-1 Capitals. Nothing to feel bad about in this game. All positivity. Take nothing negative out of this game, except that Tom Wilson didn't play, but that doesn't really matter. The Capitals won and played great. So, Caps Nation, feel good. Feel good about how everything went today because the Capitals played a really, really excellent game. And, I just look forward to the game Monday, and I look forward to Ilya Samsonov getting his start out there again because he deserves it. So after the break here, I'm going to talk about the game ahead in other Capitals news. But first, betonline.net is your number one source for all your betting stats and sports info. Find all of the latest sports developments, league reviews, and news, including this year's basketball playoffs, Major League Baseball, and this weekend's run to the Roses as the Kentucky Derby is back. BetOnline is your continued source for all your sports wagering information from live betting to playoffs, esports, and more. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more about the trends in action. BetOnline, where the game starts. All right, in this last segment, I'm going to talk about the Capitals as they face the Florida Panthers on Monday. And, I think that it's going to be Ilya Samsonov in net. I would be surprised if it was any other way. And just to talk about the great job that he did once again out there playing lights out hockey. This is what the Washington Capitals have been looking for the entire season, is what? Consistent net minding. And they got it from Ilya Samsonov tonight. And, everyone that says something negative, I want you to go around and say something positive about him because I know that he has had his issues this season, but he played great. And I know that it's easy to just throw someone under the bus when they're not playing well, but it's not so easy to prop them up when they do something well. So hats off and big ups to you, Ilya Samsonov. I hope you can get continued success and and just help this Capitals team move on to the next round. That's what it's all about. It's the next game, and then it's the next one, and then it's the next round. That's what it's all about. Don't look too far down the road. Don't say, how am I going to win the Stanley Cup? You can't live your life that way. You got to kind of just do it incrementally as you go along. And that's what the Washington Capitals have to do. They have to concentrate on the game at hand, review the game film, keep that physical game going out there at all costs. Keep your foot on the pedal, the gas pedal, and just keep coming after this Florida Panthers team because what they did tonight was that big physical game, and that paid off in spades. And, that, like I say, that is what I've talked about the entire playoff series. And if they can just do that, and then the big thing is Tom Wilson coming back, and those are things that we can't control. I mean, if it is a substantial knee injury, there's nothing we can do about that. But I really hope that he does come back because he is still missed in the lineup. Could you imagine all the people that he would have been smashing out there if he had been playing on the ice? So just all around a great game and just a really great moral victory for the Washington Capitals. And, as we move on through this playoffs, just hope that they can continue to get that sort of consistency and, they will go far. Like I said, there's changes coming if they don't do well. But guess what? They played a great game today. So if they can keep things going, I think that, maybe a lot of those players will be able to stick around. It's all incentive based. So I just hope that things can keep going along for this Washington Capitals team as it did today. And just a really good feel-good moment. Yes, watching hockey can be a feel-good moment too. There's a lot of doom and gloom in this world when it comes to politics and what's going on in the world stage. A great win by your local hockey team can be the boost that you need. Now make your second listen Locked On NHL, from first-round matchups to each Stanley Cup play. Locked On NHL covers the playoffs like no other. Hear the latest news and opinions from our local experts every Monday through Friday. It's free and available wherever you get your podcasts. And thank you once again for joining me on this bonus edition of Locked On Capitals. Yes, we don't typically do these on Saturdays, but what better way to do it than in the playoffs and with a really great win by your Washington Capitals. So once again, thank you for joining me on this edition of Locked On Capitals. I'll talk to you next time.